while they're doing that, in terms, you touched on it just then, but in terms of the buyer activity, as it were, as we sit here right now, if you could pigeonhole it into one form, what would it be? Would it be more first home buyers? Would it be more investors?
It was really interesting, and don't mind, I'm going to throw to Josh in a second just to get his ideas on the mortgage side of things. But we had a good, strong comeback in the investor side of the market probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, and now we're starting to see the shift for the first home buyers dominating our market. So it was interesting. The first players to come back into the real estate market was the investors, and now that's shifted. But what we're also seeing is the comfort for everybody willing to transact. So we're finding people who want to downsize, upsize. We've got the confidence now that people are happy to transact, not essentially worry about COVID, but understand that, hey, it's time to move. We have a reason to move. We're going to make that move. So, from what we can say is the investor market has come on strong. The first home buyers are coming in strong. Now with that, because we're starting to see a lot of sales take place, your general mum and dad real estate who want to transact now and sell and upgrade or downgrade, they're making a move into the market.
So is supply and demand growing in equal measure here?
No. There's your answer.
Right.
And look, it hasn't been for quite some time. So latest stats, I think Victoria's down about 32% in listings available on the marketplace. But we need to understand, we've just come off a record low last year on volume of properties available on the market in Victoria and pretty much across Australia. So, for Melburnians and Victorians purchasing, there's always been, the last couple of years, there's been such a limited supply, which has really seen our growth. Now we're seeing the confidence return to the market. Buyers have got their pre-approvals and they're ready to move. We just don't have the available properties. And we're now starting to see where homes are on the market. We're seeing good buys through our opens. I think our last 3 sales have been, days on market have been less than 7 days. What we hear on the news and what we sort of got back in March, April was we're going into, a market that we've never seen before. Arrears were going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
People were going to vacate properties. We weren't going to be able to lease properties. There was so much noise going out in the marketplace. So, and when I said a credit to the team, but certainly to our tenants and our landlords for how we've been able to work as, together. But the statistics coming out of it haven't been as bad as what they were making it out to be. And to have those sorts of numbers is incredible. I think that's kind of the message that we need to get out there. It's not as bad as what was forecasted.
No, not at all.
And we've come out the other side to a point. There's still a lot to come, but in incredibly strong position.
But why should people even invest in real estate at the moment when the stock market is booming?
Oh, that's a tough question. So it just depends on where you want to put your money. You can be volatile in the stock market or you can be more secure in real estate. I mean, I think that's the ultimate thing. I mean, me personally, I'm not someone who's all over the stock market. So if I go and invest that sort of sum of money in there and that could fall 5% overnight, that's a big change. I mean, with real estate, usually the shifts in market are a slow burn. And that might be, we might talk about the Royal Commission, but you could see it coming and you can kind of sell your asset at that point in time as you see that sort of reduction occur. Whether, you look at the stock market, that could just change overnight. Real estate's real estate's more secure, it's more long term, it's more tangible, it's something you can touch, you can feel, you can work with. You can increase its value by renovating and doing those sorts of things. So, look, it's really what's your flavour. I mean, if you love shares, you're not going to be a property person. If you love property, you might not be a shares person. So it's really, in some ways, it's a choice. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to jump in some ways in telling you which way to go. But I just want to go back to the stamp duty sort of question we had before. And my opinion is stamp duty is too high, and I think everyone's going to admit to that. And I think the situation that we're in real estate is that it's too expensive to transact. That's the biggest problem, and that's why, you look at the volume of listings that are available on the market, and I'm sure there's other people who would like to change and upgrade, but cost inhibitive because of the tax which is sitting there. If we reduced it or you got rid of it, I mean, that's how they would work that. My opinion is you're going to see more people say, you know what, I've got a 3, I can now go to a 4 because I'm 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom because I'm not spending $50, $60, $70, $100, $200,000 in stamp duty to make that transaction. That's the issue, and I think that's where we've got a problem.
The get in, get out cost.
The get in, get out cost, it's too expensive. That's the problem.